a system as a machine that makes work easier. It saves time. But what we are facing as practitioners in managing HR systems is lack of intense knowledge training. You know, you get trained back to back. Somehow the knowledge fades away. So since you've not been trained very well, the knowledge fades away and managing the system becomes a problem because the knowledge you have is scant. That is why HR Tech Talk is important for us so that we can continuously update our skills and insights in managing systems. That is what I can think of as a challenge in managing HR systems, lack of consistent knowledge. And I'm glad that we have this talk that helps us to, for Kiswahili, if I use my Kiswahili, my scant Kiswahili, kujichanua, to sharpen ourselves in managing HR systems. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Coach, for those for your contribution. Lack of consistent knowledge and just adequate training when it comes to HR management systems. So, Dr. Niraj, also allow me to ambush you with this question. And I know right now at our workplace, you are actually in the middle of implementing a new HR system. So what are some of the challenging things that you're finding in that experience? And if possible, how can we navigate it? Doc, over to you.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks, Anne. Thanks for introducing. I thought I should learn from you people. That's the reason I joined. And my summary is, I've seen HR, people think, HR is just for, organizing birthdays or, having felicitation programs or, getting the recruitment, selection, joinings. The mentality of still the people here feel still HR is just a supporting function. Now we have grown up like anything in the world has grown fast. We are not the supporting function now. We are the business function now. We are the integral part of the business function. I cannot say anybody. The problem with HR is majority time goes in the boss management because you need to, keep everybody happy on the same platter. Sometimes HR becomes like a football where the goalkeeper shoots you they think that you are on the management side and the union thinks the management thinks you are from the union side and union thinks you are from the management sides, and like a football you go sometimes TikTok. But it is more than it is, HR are not I'm saying they are the father, mother of the organizations or that they are the stakeholders or they are the, they are responsible for making the organization go in the trajectory mode. They are one of the important pillars where, where the upliftment of the people thought process is important. What I feel, taking the people to the newer heights, make the people feel that they will be the brand ambassador. That's the major job of HR. Recruitment, selections, these things are all the penny things, or the, leave management. They are old gone days where we used to do this 20-25 years back. Now the succession planning, mentorship, communications, these hold an important pillar now in HR, and HR is the face of the organization because no doubt you are the first person who interacts with the outside world. So whether there's a security guard, the training of the guard or the housekeeping, all are important people. I cannot treat a CEO like a CEO and my housekeeping is a housekeeping or he's just a mere security guard. He is my face of the organization. So learning, de-learning and learning, that is the only mantra where you can, rise in life. In any field, any industry you work, you have to learn, de-learn and learn again. That's the SOP we need to follow as a HR practitioner, I believe. Over to you, Anne. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Doc, for reminding us on just why HR is there and ideally how should HR operate in an organization. So I don't know anyone else who wants to contribute to the question. What are some of the challenging things that we encounter or we have had about HR management information systems? So I'm just looking through the chats. Yeah, there's nothing in the chats. Any hands up? Anyone
And
who'd like to? Yes, go
the other
ahead,
bit-
Richard. Yeah.
the other bit, the assumption is that HR systems are very expensive. That is actually, it's one of the commonest challenges that, we cannot invest in that system because it costs an arm and a leg. If we can have systems that are, we have so many systems and which can suit somebody's pocket, but the common misconception is HR systems are very expensive.
Yes, and some of them are actually expensive. So,
Yes.
So Nelson.
The other bit
Yes,
before
go ahead.
Nathan
Yeah.
comes is HR, I cannot say all of them, some HR are averse to technology. They do not really, they give technological knowledge a wide berth. That is another challenge that is existing within the adoption of HR systems. Back to you, Bahati.
Okay, thank you so much. So I think, Nelson, this is when I bring you in. And some of the challenges shared by the people who've spoken so far are on the aspect of consistent training, on the aspect of how expensive and how costly HR systems are, and the aspect of being averse to technology. Like people they prefer doing things the old way. So in your expert opinion, what can you say about these aspects and any other challenges that we experience when it comes to human resource information management systems?
Yes, it is true that HR systems are there, and we are going to stay with them as we work. And as we always say that the system will not replace you, but it is those of us who use systems very well that will replace you very soon. So take care. Now, number one, I've also struggled with systems in HR, even before coming to starting my tech talk. This thing that we're having today is that we had a problem previously of systems being developed by non-HR professionals or HRs missing the development. Hence, we are having systems that are not solving HR problems, but solving someone's thought process. So systems that have been developed, some of them doesn't answer real HR issues. They come in, you have a system that is half-baked, meaning they only do what they understand and then leave the others for you to comprehend and support yourself as you go by. So that's one of my challenges that I've also seen in the market. Number two is that I've seen a challenge where the providers who sell the system, and I believe that it is supposed to be HR selling those systems. The person who is selling the system is not actually the HR. Remember, developer wasn't a HR. The seller again is not a HR. So you're going to struggle, and you're struggling in the industry, and that's why we are coming in and saying, yes, this thing is here, and let's take charge of it. So when I come to the misconceptions that you also have on our own as HRs, is number one, we cannot afford HR systems. That they're always expensive, but are they really expensive? No, they are affordable. I want to say so. Depending with where your company is. I've been selling systems. I've been in the market trying to sell what we actually have. Our partners here always say that we can recommend them. So when we recommend a partner to some company, they say, are you sure it's 200 shillings per employee? That is, I think there's a problem there. Because they'll compare to another system which costs 500 shillings per employee. There's a one that costs 1,000 shillings per employee per month. So depending with where you are in your company, you can actually get a system that is worth your company value. So if you're looking for something that is below 100 shillings, there is one. Come to me, I'll tell you which system is that. If you're looking for a system between 100 shillings and 200 shillings, there is another one for that. 500 is one. So they are not actually 100% unaffordable. We can afford systems based on where we are. Now, another thing that is also there is that HR systems are only for big companies. Remember, when it comes to doing payroll correctly, it doesn't matter whether it is a big company or a small company. All companies that we have, yeah, actually need to have a HR system. As long as you have a HR in that company, as long as you have an employee in that company, remember, you need a system there. Then now the last one that I started with, but in another way, I say that systems will replace you as a person. Not really. To the person that uses systems, that will replace the system. So let's not fear. Someone asked me now, if I bring in a system that will do leave, performance management, all that, where will I be as HR? It's not actually the system will replace you per se, but that it will help you. Yeah, it will help you make your work easier. So now when you look at the amazing factors of HR systems, then you'll also be able to look into them. So those are what I'll say are the key things that I've seen in the industry that are affecting uptake of HR systems. That one, they're not affordable, they're a bit expensive. Number two, we fear the systems themselves. We think that HR systems are only for big companies and developed companies, but you can actually also just have them. So apart from training, because we say that the systems are not developed by HRs and sold by someone else, then you'll have that problem, because sometimes you do your own problem definition, but because the person going to develop doesn't have HR knowledge, then there'll be a problem in terms of quality of systems that we'll be having in the market. So that is my input, Anne.
Okay, thank you so much. And I've seen Dr. Niraj wants to contribute. Go ahead, Doc.
Yeah, thank you, Anne. See, in the initial, I just spoke in a general way. For HRIS, I would like to add few things. Number one, this is this is the 7th or 8th of HRMS I'm launching. I was fortunate enough to be the part of team wherever I got a chance. Now, always I like to add one thing, the software is, the data is the new oil. You must have heard 100 times. You need to revolve around data. And data is only comes when you capture it. Number one. Number two, the input and the output is important. The number of things you put in the software, you get the reports that way. Similarly, the output comes out. So I believe we should not go by the market trend that X company has got X+1 software. We should also go for that software that is the best. The judgment we do wrong is, see, every company has their own needs, own processes. So the HR software which fits in your company doesn't mean that will fit in X company, Y company, or Z company. First, you need to analyze the software which is you want to take and how much capacity you have to, shell out the money. Number one. Number two, always it should flow top down. The top management should agree, yes, the data will help me out, just because the HR is insisting, or the nearby companies or his competitor companies have taken this software. So for the status symbol, they also want to go for that. That should not happen. Number three, I believe everybody should be involved. The moment you feel that, no, I am the HR person, I know the flow, I know the metrics, I will decide who will approve, who will not approve. I agree that you people, the HR can make the decision, but the flow, the input should be taken from all. The moment you don't take the input, it goes to the cascading effect. The devastating effect, in fact, I would say, because people don't adopt it. And I believe everybody should take the ownership. It's not the HR ownership that is the HR software. So HR will only take the ownership for that. Please remember that all the HODs or all the the bosses, the supervisors, the managers are the first HR of their own department. They are the first face of their own employees. They are their mentors, or their mentees should take help of them. So HRMS is not the HR's only baby, or we are the sole responsible for all the goods and bads. So the first thing is you need to decide which fits you, which cloth fits you, how much budget you have, and which organization, what is the, you want to see the 5 years down the line impact, 10 years down the line impact, or 6 months down the line impact. That is important, how much data you would like to play around with. If you are serious in your job, in your company, you would like to analyze, there are 10 people are leaving every month. That's fine. Attrition is also very important in the company. I believe attrition is very important so that new ideas come in, new blood comes in the organization. But only if I'm a HR boss and my people are only leaving from the HR. So that means I am a problematic case. Neeraj is a problematic case, so the people are leaving from his department. So this will come only through the data. The data, when data will speak that Neeraj is a problematic case or the selection process is wrong. So everything, or the male are leaving, only the females are leaving the organizations, or which department, which grade, which band people. So everything around flows around the data. So data comes from HRMS that will be leaving for long, whether I'm on the seat or not. 5 years down the line, also the data will be there in the system, and that will help the organization to understand the analytics part, how the trend line is going, what is the mean, what is the median for the every data, or whatever things you would like to go for the age group, or you would like to go for the how many general managers are in your organization. The Pareto's analysis, 80-20 or 20-80, whatever you want to say, you want to go ahead with that analysis. Everything, the data will come through if you have a good HRMS and the intention of taking the advantage of that HRMS. That is my summary, Anne. Thank you.
Okay, wow, thank you so much. And I love the fact that you've emphasized on the aspect of data, and the quality of data that goes in gives you the kind of reports that you get. And I've also loved the aspect of inclusivity and having a general buy-in from everyone in the organization. So Helen Ruto, I had seen your hand up. I think I'll give you a chance to speak. Please unmute and give your contribution. Helen? Helen, are you still interested in contributing? Okay, once ready, I'll give you a chance later. So now, and I've seen Alex Isoe, who's just put in a comment on the chats and said building technological dexterity in HR is actually a problem. And I think from what Nelson has said and what Dr. Niraj has said, they've actually concurred with your sentiments. So that brings me to my next question. What are some of the transformative features that HR systems should have, or we as HR professionals desire to have? So what are some of the HR transformative features that HR systems should have, or we as HR practitioners desire to have? And I think I've seen Mercy Makau in the call. Mercy, just allow me to just ambush you and ask you to please contribute to my questions. What are some of the transformative features that HR systems should have, or we as HR practitioners desire to have? Mercy, over to you. Mercy?
Yes. Good evening, Hannah.
There you
Everybody.
go. Yeah.
I hope we are all well. So I think software should be, first of all, effective, efficient, and user-friendly. They should be easy to use. They should also, Ogudha has said, they are not expensive, but I want to believe they should be also not that expensive. Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Those are my
So,
views.
yeah. Sorry? Okay.
Those are my
So,
views.
okay. Mercy says they need to be easy to use. They need to be efficient. That means they need to serve the purpose that you intend them to serve. And the cost also needs to be affordable. So any other person who'd like to contribute to that, what is it that you desire HR systems to have? Or what should be there in HR systems? Coach Richie, I'm also coming to you. So please prepare your input. And also, Madam Scovia, if you could allow us to tap into your knowledge and experience and help us answer that question. What should HR systems have? What are some of the transformative systems, features that HR systems should have? So anyone can go first.
I think I can go. This is Scovia. I hope you can hear me well.
Yes, we can, Coach. Go ahead.
Okay, so what I would say it all depends with number one, your user requirements. When you're looking at what a good HRIS should have. So in terms of as the HR person or the institution, what is it that, for example, if I am sure reports are not the same in the different organizations, different industries. So in that case, depending on your user requirements, what is it that you want to get from this system? What is it that you want it to make it more efficient for you to be able to deliver as a HR professional? So I cannot specifically pick and say this and this would work. So for example, if I'm in hospitality, then it depends what information I want to collect with this system to deliver maybe to the different parties within the organization with this system to make it easier for me. In terms of the other bit was what? Forgive me, Anne, just remind me the second item.
What are some of the features that HR practitioners desire for HR systems to have? What do we wish them to do?
Okay, I think somebody else can go first as I process that.
All right. So I can see Emmanuel's hand up. Emmanuel, go. Then we'll go back to Millicent. So Emmanuel, you can unmute and make your contribution.
All right. So good evening again, everyone, from Lagos, Nigeria. So pertaining to the question you asked about what professionals would like to have on the system, from my little interaction with the system over time, specifically the D365 from Microsoft, I've come to realize that systems are designed, they are tailored based on requests, right? Every professional has what they want the system to deliver for them. They have certain data they want to impute in the system that they want the system to help them hold or transcribe into more simpler terms for people who are not really into HR or people who wants to see data can get to see it at a glance. So summarily, we cannot specifically say these are what this system should have. They are tailored to specifications that every organization wants their HRIS to carry part time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Yes, goes back to the point, what are your needs? What are your desires in a HR system and what can it do for you? So Rosemary, I'll give you the chance to go next. Kindly unmute yourself.
Good evening, Bahati, how are you?
Fine, thank you, Rosemary. Yeah.
I, as Rosemary, I have an HR system that will make my work easier and will make at least my work, at least will reduce the workload on my desk. Like, for example, the HR systems that have recruitment, performance management, learning and development, employee engagement, those are some of the things that I want the HR system to have so as to be able to make my work easy as an HR. Those are some of the features that I love that I should have in the HR system that I acquire maybe for my company.
Okay, making your work easier, basically in all HR functions so that you can reduce the workload on your desk. So thank you so much for your contributions, Millicent. Robert, you can go next and then we can hear from Alex.
Thank you, Anne. Robert, I've been involved in implementation of systems and also do handle a bit of operations. Your question on what transformative features we feel as HR professionals we should have in the systems. The first thing on top of my mind is integration, the ability of a system to integrate. I find it very annoying to launch a HR system and there's no other system it can talk to. It can't talk to finance, it can't talk to IT, it can't talk to. So you'll find if you're doing payroll, I have to key in payroll inputs or hire someone to actually do that and then translate that into the payroll system. So if you'd ever get, and I know they're out there, but they're very expensive, HR systems that can easily integrate or read into other systems. I think that's one bit. The second bit is ability for any HR system to give outputs in terms of reports that can be loaded onto other systems, sort of linked to integration. But the angle here is I've worked with 3-4 systems, and you find if a leave report generates this way, these are the fields it has, it will always do that for you. But every day, a leader will come and tell you, I need leave report for ladies aged this and this. I should be able, as a HR professional who is not a techie, to build ad hoc reports using simple report builder platforms, which you can always load, sort of like the way you'd add an add-on on your Google Chrome without any tech knowledge. So those are two important things I feel if HR systems of the future can work on, it would make our lives easier.
Yes, to raise the very... Yes, someone is talking?
Yeah, I want to throw in something. One of the things that will make HR systems more sensible and more strategic is when we have that feature of employee self-service, because it lessens the work, clerical work. If we can have a very easy to learn employee service feature, that would be quite transformative. Another thing, I think it has been mentioned by Millicent on recruitment. Like right now, I'm trying to assist somebody to recruit, and I have received 500 CVs. I do not have an ATS. So you can imagine, Anne, how tedious that job is. If we can have a system that is friendly and I'm able to use it, I'll reduce my recruitment challenge. So those are the two that I can think. And of course, the most difficult challenge that HR people have is dealing with mathematics. If we can have something that simplifies simplifies data analytics so that it's not complicated, because we are running away from numbers. But Dr. has told us that data is the gold that we should embrace. So if it's the gold we should embrace, so one of the transformative features that we should have in an HR system is the ability to be able to crunch numbers in a very easy way, then you develop insights from them. And I've seen what I wanted to say next. I let Ivan say that's what I want. I don't know. I don't want to. Even can say something. That's what I wanted to say, but he has already said it. Ivan, you can take it up. I wanted to say what you have just said.
So Ivan, you want to speak, or the chat is okay?
Okay, this Alex wanted to say some few features as well.
Go ahead, Alex.
Okay, thank you. The HRIS system that we prefer, it should have what we call mobile application, whereby every employee is able to access and having that interface to access and have the right input to a certain rights given on a certain requirement. That information, it is easily converted for a certain function, and a report is given at the end. So we shall have a system that is mobile friendly without having some issues here and there. Another area, but I know other guys have spoken about it. It is the third party application integration, whereby as a person who has left there before said that other departments should have that integration to put in certain information. Maybe if it is the vendors, they're able to input the certain information, and this information can be accessed by somebody who is concerned with it and able to give the required decision going forward. And maybe lastly, to mention, it is having HR matrix for analytical purpose, a system that can be able to assist the HR to customize certain reports that are numerical in nature for better decision making, because the agility that we're having in HR setup, it is more of supported by the numerical figures that can be able to give clarity and factual information for business decision making. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for your input. That is Alex, Coach Robert Milcent. So if I am to summarize on what transformative features that HR systems should have, and also what we as HR practitioners should look out for when we are sourcing for HR systems. Number one, it's the integration. Does the system speak to other business information systems that you have in the company? And can you just have a one-stop data point whereby the data you enter in one system can actually be transferred into another system and be used in that function? Then number two, the ability to give quality outputs. This is in terms of reports and also analytics, and to have simple analytics. And as Coach has rightfully said, as HRs, if you can help us not deal with numbers, you've actually sorted us. And then the aspect of employee self-service. Can some of the features like leave application, check-in for, what do we call these, pay slips, check-in for performance records, employee engagement levels, can the employees be able to retrieve this information for themselves on the system? Then the other thing I've heard was the data security, which is key. With the onset of the Data Protection Act, how compliant is your HR system to the provisions of the Act? How secure is your data? And you remember, as Dr. Niraj had told us, your data is your gold. So you need to safeguard it. Who has access to this data? And what are they using it for? Are they using the data for the benefit of the organization? Or what is the essence that they have access to this data? And also the other aspect, the mobile application. Can it be supported by the mobile phones? Nowadays, we've gone tech, everyone practically, I dare say 90% of employees in the organizations have a smartphone. So can this system go in their mobile phone so that they can access the system anytime, anywhere they go? And also finally, the third-party application integration. I think I had spoken about that. And Dr. Niraj, I can see your hand is up. So I'll give you 1 minute because I'm looking at our time. And I'd want Nelson to wrap it up before we can close the session. Dr. Niraj?
Thanks, Anne. See, a summary is, yeah, integration point was very, very, very important. And one more point I would like to add is, you can customize the app or not. Point is, I have spent 1,000 shilling per employee. I have taken it, but the moment I go for customization, the organization says, the party says, the HRIS guy says, you need to pay us for this extra. So customization is very important as per your organization need. Trust me, I have seen almost 100 softwares in my life till now. No software HRIS is perfect. I'll be very honest with you. Nobody is perfect. Everybody has their own plus and minuses. What your organization needs is important, and how smoothly your people can use it, and the predictiveness of the software. Like my people, like, and I predict, like in the month of December, maximum people takes annual leave, or in the night shift, the maximum absenteeism is there. So the predictiveness and the customization will also plays a very important role in the HRMS or HRIS, wherever, in whichever the part of the world you work. It will play an important role. This is my summary. Once again, thank you.
Wow, that is also very important. The software system, are you able to customize it to your processes, to your systems, and to your organizational needs? That is also a very key aspect to look out for in a HR system. And I've also seen Ruth has contributed in the chat by saying, having demos to provide easier navigation. And majorly from what she's saying is, in case someone else needs to quickly be inducted on how to use the system, you can do so that they can be like a smooth handover and a smooth continuation of tasks. So Nelson, we are coming back to you on the desired features that HR system should have and the transformative systems. And I think you can also talk about the trends. Where next, as when it comes to HR information systems. Nelson, take it up.
Okay, the contribution towards the feature that needs to be added or what we need to have in transformative systems or the magical aspects of HR systems have been exhausted. But I will also put this clearly that if you're going for any system today, don't leave employee self-service behind, because our work involves relating with employees every day, now and then. So if you want to increase the employee experience of the system or is in your work, don't ever leave the employee self-service behind. If a system is being sold separately and self-service separately, negotiate to have employee self-service so that you can ease in your work in terms of paperwork. Because if you're the only one with the system administrative things that you need to update, then even employee will be waiting for you to update their date of birth, which they gave you wrongly, or the ID number is wrong. You'll be the one keying it in. I've gotten a newborn baby, so you need to add as a HR, which you should not be doing. So ensure that you have employee self-service. Just like as an add-on to whatever has been said. All much has been said. Now, if you look at the possibilities that we have, things are looking better. And these are things that we are looking at in terms of what I can foresee, and some of them have already happened. Now, number one is that we are looking for personalized employee development. What we talked about some few days ago is that we are looking at on-the-go system, where I don't need to sit down somewhere and work with a system. I want a system that I can use USSD, where I can just maybe send a code and I'll apply for a leave, or the application on my phone is there. Another thing is that if you are to have learning and development, how will I do learning and development? Can the system host it even in the phone that I can have short videos and learn? There is the issue of artificial intelligence and machine learning, where AI is supporting your work as HR. We did show a system that had got AI already placed in the system that you could draft letters from the system itself. So you don't need to draft letters again when you already have the HR system. So we're seeing AI coming in. And what we said is that you as HR, we as HRs, what we need to do is that we need to increase our expertise in various areas. Because the system will not, AI will not know the real answer or the real decision that you have on the ground. But you as the person, you understand your area or specification and specialization. So you need to be aware of that as much as it's going to come as part of the system. And number three, what is coming up is that we are looking for employee well-being and engagement. So how do you engage your employees? How do you ensure smooth communication goes to employees? We have got workmates, one of the things that we are having as one of our partners, where you don't need to send a memo on email, but you can just upload that memo and everybody with the system in their phone will see the memo. So who still sticks memos on the notice boards? Yeah, so if you have that. And then what is coming up that you need to be ready about is one, and it's already something happening here. And actually I've seen it happening in that what the providers are doing nowadays is that they're developing the systems. And now there will be a point where we'll detach the system providers and have this customer service side be done by someone else. Look at most companies. I'll take an example of Safaricom. They developed M-Pesa, but who does M-Pesa? Not even their employees. Is some other person somewhere that took that role and now managing their own M-Pesa. So they've delegated the service of M-Pesa to some other people. Even customer care, some of them are not actually their employees, so they're giving it out so that they remain with the core. So what's going to happen in future is that we will be seeing most system providers detaching themselves from actually customer service and even sales of the systems. Because as I said before, in that we will have good programmers who can program everything with AI, But because they're not HRs, what they'll do is that they'll give those services of support to their clients, the issue of sales to people who can do it better, not necessarily the company itself. So that thing that I've seen that are coming in terms of the trends that we need to be aware about, so that in future when your system providers that I'm no longer supporting this, but so and so will support you, you need to understand actually things have really changed. So that one is what that's the match that I would want to put in. And if what we have said here, and which I believe we are talking from the point of experience, is that we are well knowledge, we are vast with this knowledge about HR systems. So we need to embrace systems in HR space. And by attending these sessions and even becoming part of speakers and participants makes these sessions richer than today. I think I've also just learned as I sat back here and listening. Thank you, Anne.
Wow. Thank you so much for capturing the trends, where we are and where the future of HR systems are going. And I think today, ladies and gentlemen, you can agree with me, we've learned so much from each other on just some of the challenges we experience or we perceive HR systems to have, and the desired features that we need HR systems to have in our quest to make our work easier, in our quest to make our decision-making more effective by having real data and data that helps, and well-analyzed data that helps us make our decisions easily, and also the future trends. So that if you are planning to acquire a HR system, I believe now you're in a better position to analyze that system and even negotiate through the acquisition process. If you have already a HR system, you can be able to go back and do an audit of the system and see some of the enhancement points that you can have in order to make it more efficient and more, what we call these, so that it can make more sense for you to exercise your HR functions. And I am looking at that